very good evening to you. Glad you could join us on NTV Weekend Edition on this Saturday. And as is the custom, we begin with the news highlights. Tonight, a hitchhike to the grave. Death toll in Mutsui River tragedy climbs to 9 as rains continue to cause havoc countrywide. Also tonight,
wewe unataka kuweka kandarasi kwa serikali, sisi tunaambia Kuria, siku hiyo kitu itapitishwa na cabinet. Ndio siku hiyo tutakwamisha inji hii.
It is our duty to correct wewe. Jumatano tutakucorrect wewe.
No, never. Trade union leaders train their guns at CS Moses Kuria. Will he change tune on employment terms? Plus,
ni kutoa shukrani kwamba tumewekewa, lakini katika upande wa soko nyama ya kuku ndio imekataa kabisa, haishiki.
Hotspots of frustration. Ambitious free government Wi-Fi project that connects no one. Was it a hoax? And
were like running away when they see me, like they'll use terms that were derogatory.
Autism spectrum disorder and the hidden torment among parents and learners. Equality tonight.
Live from Nation Center, this is Weekend Edition with Olive Burrows.
Olive Burrows and our sign language interpreter, David, I beg your pardon. Yes, it is David Agondoa. 4 more bodies have been retrieved from Kwamusui River in Makueni County, raising the death toll to 9. 10 others, including 2 children, are still unaccounted for after a lorry carrying tens of locals and ballast lost control and was swept away while trying to cross the swollen river. And as Martin Mwangi reports, 82 people have died countrywide as a result of the floods.
Samuel Nzomo, who works as a security guard in Makueni County, is one among 14 people who were rescued from Kwamusui River as the lorry they were traveling in plunged into the fast-moving water. Nzomo counts it a miracle how he managed to escape alive.
Sasa kuingia kwa mtu, kila mtu sasa alijiokoa kivyake. Kivyake sasa nikatumbukia upande wangu nikatumbukizwa chini. Na nilikuwa nasikia huko chini kwa maji kitu kinanigusa, sijui ni mtu alikuwa anajiokolea, na mimi nikajiokolea kwa kuoka, nikatoka nikaenda kujikilia mtu.
Muteti Musioka is mourning the loss of his sister, a trader who had just left Nairobi to get her supplies before she encountered the tragedy on her way to Kasikeu Market.
Asubuhi ya leo nilipigiwa simu na rafiki yangu anaitwa Ngono, kaniambia kuna mmoja mpanda pande ya mali, alafu kwa hivyo nikuja nimwangalie kama ni yeye. Nikakaa nipige simu tena, akaniambia amemuona, ameingia kwa mochari, nikuje niangalie, imekuja, imedhibitisha ako hapa.
According to the county administration, 9 bodies have so far been retrieved from the river, whereas the search for 10 others, including 2 children who were on board the ill-fated truck, is still on. The Friday incident occurred when the stranded victims, who were heading to the market across the river, decided to board the lorry that was headed towards the same direction.
Hata kama serikali inawasaidia, usiende kujitupa ndani ya maji. Nimeona kwa video watu iko na lori wamejaa. Wanaona gari ingine pelekwa na maji, wanarudi hiyo lori wanaigiza ndani ya maji. Lazima kila mtu ajichunge.
Elsewhere in Nairobi, 1 more body has been retrieved from Mathare River, raising the death toll to 15 people. The deaths occurred following a heavy downpour on Tuesday night that caused the river to overflow, sweeping into their houses. Despite the great danger it poses, some residents have started rebuilding homes along the riverbanks. Parents and leaders have urged the government to consider postponing the reopening of schools by 1 more week due to the floods. The Ministry of Education directed all regional directors of education to assess the impact of the ongoing heavy rains on learning institutions ahead of the reopening that is slated for next week.
Ningeomba serikali hii mvua ikiendelea hivyo, it is better tuwe na watoto wetu wakiwa uhai kushinda tuambie watoto waende shule wabebo na maji.
The death toll from floods has now risen to 82 people as the situation persists in various parts of the country. Martin Mwangi, NTV.
The Central Organization of Trade Unions Secretary General Francis Atuli has opposed the move by Public Service Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria to have civil servants employed only on contract terms. Other union leaders, also speaking at a shop stewards meeting in Nairobi, have threatened to have all civil servants down their tools if the national government abolishes the permanent and pensionable system of employment. The leaders say the move will demoralize and disenfranchise government employees. Kakamega Deputy Governor Ayub Savula is among a section of leaders who have also opposed the proposal.
Sisi tunaambia Kuria, siku hiyo kitu itapitishwa na cabinet. Ndio siku hiyo tutakwamisha nchi hii mpaka yule anafakia State House hataenda kazi.
Mwache ile watu wengine wanasema. Sam, unajua you can be in government na ama unaweza kupata kazi na hujasomea hiyo kazi. Na ukiamuka you can say anything. But it is our duty to correct wewe. Jumatano tutakucorrect wewe. Na tuambie His Excellency the President, huyu ndio tuna correct.
In what seemed to be a step towards digital transformation in growing the country's digital economy, the government free Wi-Fi project has now turned into a hoax. Traders in markets where the Wi-Fi was installed say it has been their nightmare and a hotspot of frustration. Fatma Bugu has more.
The launch of free Wi-Fi for Mombasa town traders at the Marketi market left many with lots of excitement.
Tuishukuru serikali ya Ruto kwa kutuletea Wi-Fi katika masoko yetu. Hii ni furaha kubwa sana.
The excitement, however, turned to despair after the business people realized they could not access the much hyped service barely days after its colorful launch.
Haifanyi vizuri. Wakati mwingine inafanya, wakati mwingine inakataa.
Bado tunalia kwamba ije ifanye kazi kisawasawa. Katika upande wa soko nyama ya kuku ndio imekataa kabisa.
We visited Marketi Market in Mombasa to have a feel on the connectivity stability of the Wi-Fi. Though the signal was appearing on my mobile phone, there was no internet connectivity. But I was not the only one.
Nikisema nataka ku download chochote, news zozote, naona iangalie tu mwenyewe. Ko slow.
Ina majira ambao ni usubuhi mapema ama ni usiku ambao hauna watu. Inafanya vizuri sana kwa ile idadi ya watu.
Traders here who sell meat says this could have been helpful in marketing and dealing with customers, but with its poor connection, it is an investment that has zero value to them.
Pengine wachache wamenufaika kidogo, lakini kweli ni kwamba haifanyi vizuri vile inavyotakaniwa.
Maana kitu kama ilivyokuwa launch isemekaniwa ya market. Sasa haikuwa specific kwa watu wa marikiti kama masoko hivi, imekuwa overloaded. Watu ni wengi.
In April last year, the World Bank announced it had offered 52 billion for the 25,000 free Wi-Fi hotspots, shedding light on Kenya's digital transformation in the economy.
Hata mtu aliyeko nyumbani akiona biashara yako pengine wataka anaweza kukupigia ama kutumia kwa WhatsApp umpelekee mahali alipo, pia inasaidia upande mkubwa sana wa biashara.
But the hitches being experienced in most markets where free Wi-Fi was installed have left the government with an egg on their face. Fatma Bugu, NTV, Mombasa.
I don't know about nightmare, but most definitely a hotspot of frustration. A section of Western leaders allied to Kenya Kwanza have blasted their opposition counterparts for frequently attacking National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula. The Kenya Kwanza MPs also called for the Mulembe Nation to forge forward as a united front. And as Zacchaeus Masame now reports, the sentiments came a day after Saboti Member of Parliament Caleb Amisi dared Moses Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi to go for the presidency in 2027.
Speaking at Masaba Secondary School in Kiminini constituency, Trans Nzoia County, during the homecoming ceremony of the area MP, the leaders led by Sirisia Member of Parliament John Waluke wondered why Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya has waged a spirited war of belittling National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, and now want Natembeya to embrace Wetangula's leadership in what they say will help the community reap in the Kenya Kwanza government.
Tunataka Natembeya aingie tuwe jamii kwa pamoja. Tunataka kusikizana, sio tunawacha mwingine nje.
A house divided cannot stand the enemy. Our enemies want us divided. Our enemies are funding our division. Na sisi kama leaders we must say no.
Muache uongozi na lugha ya kiburi na matusi kwa viongozi wengine. Sisi tunataka kuunganisha nchi yetu.
Their sentiments come just days after Saboti MP Caleb Amisi dared both Wetangula and Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi to face President William Ruto in the 2027 elections if they needed the region's support.
2027, kama bado nyinyi you are a kingpin, mtoe Ruto kwa uongozi.
I have no time for parochial politics. I have no time for cheap politics. And I have no time to engage in spatting with anybody or talking at anybody.
Zacchaeus Masame, NTV.
April is Autism Awareness Month, a time to celebrate the unique strengths and perspectives of people on the autism spectrum. This year's theme is Empowering Autistic Voices, which aims to provide support and power to the individuals with this condition. However, autism remains a topic shrouded in stigma in Kenya. Many families struggle to get a diagnosis, access proper therapy, and navigate the education system for their autistic children. Our education reporter, Rukia Bule, brings us this special report on this week's equality.
For most parents, the arrival of a child is a moment of pure joy and anticipation. They dream of a first steps, first words, and building a life together. But for some families, that dream takes an unexpected turn.
And she's happy with it.
Faith Gatere first noticed that her daughter Jennifer Wamuyu had a difficult time sleeping when she was an infant and cried a lot more compared to the average child.
She went for an event with a relative, and in that event there was a doctor who said this baby has a problem, and someone told the mother to come to KNH on Monday. So that's how I went to KNH and she was diagnosed.
Faith recalls in the beginning, she had a difficult time raising her autistic daughter alone, which took a toll on her mental health.
Every time she wanted to communicate, it was through maybe fight or those scratching other kids, biting my hands and crying. I remember we never used to go even to church, we never used to go to social places. It was us in the house and just us.
Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a development condition that can present a range of challenges in social communication, behavior, and sensory processing. There isn't official data on autism prevalence in Kenya. However, according to Autism and Development Disabilities Monitoring Network, ADDM, 1 in 54 children have autism spectrum disorder. Boys are more than 4 times more likely to be identified with ASD than girls.
Children on the autism spectrum rarely have eye contact.
You know, the way a child will look at the mother even when they are suckling, or when you call them or you're engaging them. So most of those children don't have eye contact.
Kenya is a vibrant country, rich in culture and tradition. But for families with children on the autism spectrum, navigating daily life can be a challenge.
I remember sometimes back, we went to a banking hall to pay school fees. I explained to the guard, to the customer care, this child has autism, but you know, autism is so normal, like you can't tell from the face. So she's there quiet, and I remember being dismissed, being told, no, she's okay. We know parents, how do you behave during rush hours, like when schools are opening. The next thing that happened was she removed her shoes to the guard, the other one to the lady who was seated at the customer care. She had a bottle of water, pouring it all over. Everything came to a standstill in a banking hall.
It is scientifically proven that these are brain-based issues, and we have them world over, because you'll also hear things that maybe the mother or maybe the bride price was not paid, or it's a crash. But you find these are things that are happening world over, even maybe in communities where there's no bride price.
That time we were going for therapy, we are using the public means. You just sit down and refuse to wake up. You hear somebody telling you, buy a vehicle. Others, even friends, they don't want your child to visit them, because when you go there, he's up and down.
Nobody knew anything about autism during the 80s or 90s, so people really had those negative assumptions about autism to be something bad, like a mental retardation.
Karen Muriki, who is verbally fluent, recalls that she had a difficult time growing up as an autistic child.
I was in a mainstream school. It was not as accessible and inclusive because nobody understood me. Nobody even wanted to play around with me. They were like running away when they see me. Like they would use terms that were derogatory in one sense.
Karen says, as an adult, the job market is not accommodating of autistic people.
As an autistic adult, I still go through those struggles in my life, like mental health and even having those suicidal thoughts. And just stemming from the rejection that I faced because people just really simply do not understand who I was.
Dorcas Nunga is a mother to a young autistic adult. Her son has completed secondary school but is having a difficult time transitioning into the next phase of his life.
Since he was a small child, because he couldn't talk, but singing, he was singing. You failed to understand the connection. He's singing the whole song, but talking, he's not. Now, I'm sourcing out and also praying that if there are people there around who is able to accommodate my son who is autistic, he's a DJ, that he can train him. I would appreciate, because I just want to nurture that talent.
Parents of autistic children are urging others to embrace their kids and find community support.
The parent who hide the child in the house, they should stop it. Let's go out with our children. It doesn't matter what people say.
There are support groups where parents are given the space to just vent and rant and say what they are going through. So I urge parents to look for those like-minded people whom are going through the same journey so that they can help you.
Your autistic child is human. They are not burdens. They are not diseased. They don't need to be fixed. And if you need support, the actual aspects in autism are actual autistic people like ourselves, like myself, because nothing is about us without us.
Stakeholders say the government needs to invest in resources such as better healthcare system in order to support learners with autism.
All these conditions that are brain-based, early identification for early interventions is very key, because you find that because of that gap, we identify that children are on the autism spectrum when it's very late.
Don't dismiss our voices. We're here to just really educate you and to really realize that we're humans. Autistics are human. a lot of autistic people, many of my autistic friends want to be like politicians, you know, like be like, you know, drive good cars, have better jobs that accommodate their needs, you know, just to be out there in the world, just breathing change, bringing forth change in a world that isn't built for them. We want that kind of change.
Rukia Bule, NTV.
Bernard Ndong with the sports news on the other side of this break.
Kipchoge has done the unthinkable.
Today, everyone knows me for my victories. Only I know how much I had to try. I got silver, bronze, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. How you deal with pain and setbacks makes you who you are. I choose to accept that I am human. I choose to test myself and stand up when I was down. Again and again. Then I realized I wasn't giving myself a challenge big enough, a dream big enough to inspire not just me, but every fellow human. I was limiting myself by what I thought I could do, so I became unlimited. I chose to run the biggest race that man could run. And I challenged myself to do it faster than anyone had done it before. Everything changes when you choose to be unlimited.
To be unlimited, call 0800 724 724.
Dark marks keep coming back. Any tips? Double the vitamin C power. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. Daily with the #1 Vitamin C serum to correct dark marks. At night, new 10% Vitamin C serum to help prevent their reappearance. Together, twice as fast dark mark reduction. The Power Duo. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. By Garnier, naturally.
Unapocheza Lotomoto, ni wengi wanasaidika. Na ni kwa sababu yako, wengi wasiojiweza wananufaika. Na kwako wewe mchezaji, unajipatia fursa ya kujishindia Toyota Hiace ambaye namtangaza mshindi on the 5th of May. Zidi kucheza Lotomoto, zidi kucheza Lucky Game na uzidi kusaidia jamii ya wasiojiweza kwa ujumla. Mafrendi huyu hapa na anakugoja. Dial *524#, chagua option namba 4 na ujiingize katika draw ya kuvuka namba 3. Mshindi tunamtangaza 5th of May. Dial *524#, chagua option namba 4. Cheza Lucky Game na tunakuhakikishia ushindi na bahati yako itakufikia mahali popote ulipo. Kumbuka kucheza ni *524#.
If you want to be free and live like a child again, why stress about germs? Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
For an exclusive 3x skin effect, try Nivea Men Deep powered by black carbon. For 48-hour deep moisture, a fresh skin feel, and a long-lasting masculine fragrance. Make an impact with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion. Try Nivea Men Deep Roll-On for 72-hour antibacterial sweat protection.
This week on Twende, we are in Timau.
These ones look different. The
Hello there, it's time for the sports update. Good evening, I'm Bernard Ndong. KCB knocked out the FKF Mozart Bet Cup defending champions Kakamega Homeboys, beating their opponents 1-0 in the first quarter-final at the Dandora Stadium. Danson Namasaka scored the winning goal in the 59th minute after a goalless first half. The Bankers will be joined by Kenya Police, who steamrolled Sofapaka 4-0 in the second quarter-final. Samuel Onyango scored a brace, but it was David Okoth who opened the scores in the 24th minute, the first half's only goal. Onyango then did the damage in the second half, scoring his brace in a span of 14 minutes, the initial goal coming in the 55th minute. Marvin Nabuire put the last nail on the coffin, the disciplined forces fourth in stoppage time, as he cruised the semis with a statement victory.
Hata akampenyezea Samuel Onyango, lakini pasi ilikuwa kwanza kwa Tito Okello, lakini Tito Okello akasema kwamba hiyo cha nidokoe pamoja na Sandike Hai wananyanyua mkono kwamba David Okoth ameotea. David Okoth akaamua kuweza kutembea ule mpira, akapiga cutback moja kwa moja. Samuel Onyango akaujaza kwenye kamba. Liko haya ya Clinton Kinanga na Marvin Nabuire. Marvin Nabuire moja kwa moja akaweza kusukuma ule mpira baada ya pasi nzuri ya Clinton Kinanga.
Wameingia wote
ngoma, akajaribu kuweza kupekecha, akaianza pale katikati Danson Chetambe na Masaka. Baada ya pasi nzuri yake Philemon Nyakwaka, Chetambe na Masaka kazungusha ngoma nyuma ya mlinda mlango James Tuba, lakini kwa bahati mbaya baada ya kuweza
NTV Sports News in association with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion.
From football, let's focus on the oval ball, and KCB stormed through to the semi-final of the Enterprise Cup after a comfortable 65-7 victory over the northern suburbs in a match that was played at their home turf in Ruaraka. The Bankers had a commanding 33-0 advantage at the break after tries by Kolian Pasian, Emmanuel Opondi, Austin Sikutu and captain Griffin Musila. Opondi was also on target with the extras converting the tries successfully. Musila secured a brace in the second half, with Kolian also touching down for the second time in the clash. Levi Amunga, Horus Olela and Peter Kilonzo put the match beyond reach with an additional 32 points. Meshak Opagala scored Suburbs' consolation try that was converted by Alex Owur. Let's focus on athletics, where 3,000-meter steeplechase world record holder Beatrice Chepkoech was triumphant at the Shanghai Diamond League as she clocked 9 minutes, 7.36 seconds to finish 8 seconds ahead of her closest challenger, Peruth Chemutai of Uganda. Chepkoech had to battle through stomach pain and a slight knee injury to secure the win in China. The 32-year-old won flawed American Hobbs Kessler's record that stood at 3 minutes 56.13 seconds. The American finished second in the race behind the 19-year-old, with South African Ryan Mphalele finishing third. Wanyonyi set a meet record and a world lead last week, clocking 1 minute 43.57 seconds at the Absa Kipkeino Classic Tour at the Nyayo National Stadium in the capital Nairobi. And finally, Liverpool's title charge in the English Premier League was derailed by West Ham United after the Hammers secured a point from the jaws of defeat. on the last Saturday of the month. That's the end of the world of sports. Thank you so much for your time and attention. My name is Bernard Ndong. Of course, Olive Barrows, I understand you have some very, very interesting news that happened in Nakuru.
Two of the Nation Media Group's finest tied the knot in Nakuru on Saturday. NTV reporter Ruth Saramwe and Business Solutions executive Elijah Chesenge wedded in a colorful ceremony held at the AIC Shabab, Nakuru County. They shared the momentous occasion with friends and family, as you can witness in these pictures.
Sawa. Alafu waguze mattress.
Okay, so one of our video editors there, Calvin, dance kweli kweli. Ruth and Elijah, congratulations. Time for myself and David Agonda to sign out on NTV Weekend Edition tonight. But at Wachivo, we're leaving you with 12 minutes, which comes up right after this break, named after the father of Kenyan athletics, Kipchoge Keino. The APSA Kip Keino Classic has gone on to live up to its billing as one of the most anticipated athletics meetings on the continent, attracting an impressive lineup of top track and field stars since its inaugural edition in 2020. On 12 minutes, Elijah Uko, not the one who just wed Ruth Sarmwe, will focus on this gold event which has exemplified its status. Good night.
Ukilipa bill zako na M-Kopa Cash reward ya 1000